This video is about a trip to Princess Louisa Inlet we took in August 2021 on our little 15-foot sailboat named Sky. After my trip to Barkley Sound, which is covered in another video here on YouTube, Michelle joined me for a beautiful several-day trip to Princess Louisa Inlet. Princess Louisa Inlet is in southwest British Columbia, Canada. We spent 5 days on the water. In these maps, each day is a different color. The first day, we sailed from Egmont to Harmony Islands Marine Provincial Park. We tucked ourselves into a nice little cove for the night and went to explore low tide. In the evening it rained, and so we tried out the supported tent fly we have to go over the cockpit when it rains. The second day was a long sailing day all the way to Princess Louisa Inlet. From Harmony Islands we rounded the point into Jervis Inlet, the long fjord that leads back to Princess Louisa. We sailed downwind all the way to the entrance to Princess Louisa, but took down the sails to get through Malibu Rapids into Princess Louisa Inlet itself. We moored for the night at McDonald Island. That second day started with a light wind reach under cloudy sky and around the point into Jervis Inlet. Once we were into Jervis Inlet, the wind picked up and shifted aft. The day's sail was mostly dead downwind, even with the turns of the inlet. Towing the paddleboard, as we often do when the winds are light, became more awkward as the wind picked up through the day. We never jibed unintentionally that there was some stress being dead downwind so much of the day. We did cover a lot of ground pretty easily. We arrived at Malibu Rapids, the entrance to Princess Louisa Inlet, as planned, and just as tidal flow out of Princess Louisa was going slack, we took the sails down and started motoring in. There is a substantial use camp right at the rapids. Great place to camp. After a long day's sailing, we finally motored into the calm waters of Princess Louisa Inlet, and were happy to be there. We moored and were greeted by some local fauna. The next 3 days, we just stayed in the inlet and explored by land and by sea. The scenery was spectacular, and we even got to watch the world come and go a little. One outing was a hike up a rough and rooty trail to a waterfall at the head of the inlet. The trail had some steep parts that had a rope to make it all feel more steady. The next day was the reverse of the long day in, though this day we motored all day instead of sailing. The route was the reverse of the way in, out through the rapids and down Jervis Inlet, including a stop at a little waterfall along the way. We liked Harmony Island, so we went back to the same little cove there for the night. We approached Malibu Rapids just prior to slack water again, but this time there was a lot more current. We were motoring through the water at about 3.5 miles per hour, and through the fastest part of the rapids we were going over 10 miles per hour, with a lot of swirling that required constant steering to keep on course.
Oh my god. I don't know.
That's the big one in the back.
The excitement of the rapids wore me out. It was time for a nap. On the way, local fauna entertained us with feats of strength. Mostly it was a day of putting along, watching the scenery go by, or doing a little reading. After a night in the cove in Harmony Islands, we took our time getting back to Egmont to take the boat out of the water and to start home. Sailing was frustrating this day, though paddling was nice. Rain met us as we headed back to the boat ramp at Egmont, ending another great trip on our little boat.